need to know what to do with that dough. Let the chef show you. You need to know what to do with that dough.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Need to Know Pod. Today we have a special guest. We have Chef Mo, and I think you would be excited to hear his story. Chef Mo has, I believe he has done 25 years in the Navy. I know it's definitely the Navy. The years, he'll tell us what that is. But so let's hear his story. So welcome to Need to Know Pod, Chef Mo.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, how are you, Chef Mo? I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about yourself. So we do have a friend in common, and it just so happens, as much as we love food, so you're the friend in common. Not a friend, that's your sister. I know she's a tough critic, so that's in itself. You can actually think you made something good, but Robin will let you know if you did not.
100%. I agree.
Yes. So that palate is crazy.
Yeah.
So, yes. She would tell you, well, did you add this? Did you add that? Our little joke is, what's that? Am I tasting a little, what you call it? Raspberry, it was a raspberry vinaigrette. That's our joke. She always says, is that a little raspberry vinaigrette?
That's funny.
But anyway, so welcome to Need to Know Pod. Introduce yourself. I know you was in the Navy, but tell us a little bit about that. And then we'll go into how you transitioned into being this amazing chef.
Okay. So I joined the Navy in 1998, around August, in Great Lakes, Illinois. Served for 24 years and about 2 months. And I retired from the Navy in September of 2022. Shortly after that, I went to culinary school, university called Culinary Institute of Virginia. I did about a year and a couple of months there. And my wife, she's still active duty. So we moved to California, outside of Fresno area. It's a little small town called Moore, California. Then I decided to go back to school, finish up, start with my knives, so to speak. And I went to West Hills College and finishing the culinary program there. I have a few classes left.
So you said you went to school, you didn't finish, so now you're currently in school?
I'm currently in school. Actually, I got class tonight, but I basically started in Culinary Institute of Virginia, which is strictly a culinary school. Here, the closest culinary school is almost like maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours away. So they have a small program at college. It's very homegrown, but very intricate, techniques and stuff like that.
So what courses are you taking now?
So this particular semester, I have physical geography, which is actually pretty interesting, and I have business accounting.
So you'll get a degree once you finish?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
So when I started, I got my pastry certificate. I went for pastry arts only.
Mm-hmm.
When my first interest into culinary school, I wanted to go for all things culinary, but that didn't work out. And I never even knew there was a thing to go just for pastry arts. But so yeah, that's exciting. Okay, so what made you go? How did you go from the Navy to culinary school? What gave you? Did you have a love for food? Were you cooking in the Navy?
So no. My general job was an electrician. I was an engineer in the Navy. And being on a deployable ship, everything on there is like electrical, and a lot of my trouble calls and things that I had to fix and repair were in the galley, which is where they prepare the food for the ship. So, I was fixing griddles and ovens and pretty much everything in there. So, being around the presence of the equipment, I never knew I had a passion. But doing the long hours and, the rigorous schedules, a lot of frustration and build up. And, when I had time to come home, cooking was a therapy for me.
And they say that definitely about bacon. I just did a podcast on an episode on bake therapy, but it can be therapeutic. So that's good. Okay. And let me just say thank you for your service. Let me not overlook that.
No problem. Much appreciated. But yeah, it was therapy for me. There was a lot of pitfalls, a lot of burning things, a lot of things not tasting well or not looking presentable in the very beginning. Everybody I think starts on the grill.
So this is before you went to school.
This is way before I went to school. I was actually 30.
So while it was therapeutic, what were you trying to cook? Was it you looking at YouTube videos? Were you just deciding I have a taste for X, Y, and Z, and you just attempting that?
Pretty much. Well, I didn't think I knew how to cook, but I think I had a good palate of what tastes good, and trying to recreate those things, because when you're starting out in the military, you really don't make much. I think I was single at the time, and a lot of the meals I had to prepare, they had to last throughout the week, or they had to last while I was gone. You know what I mean? And usually the night before we would deploy or actually go out to sea, I would try to make as much meals as I could possibly make. So I could store in a little fridge, heat up, give me a little taste of home for a couple of days. There was a lot of trial and error.
Okay. So what was the deciding factor that said, okay, I want to go to culinary school? When did it when did it stop being a hobby and you decided I'm going to take this serious and up my culinary game?
I think shortly after my mom passed about 10 years ago, and she went to culinary school late in her life, and she wasn't able to complete. And my dad, ironically, he was in the Air Force. He did a couple of years and he got out. So I kind of had this mindset that I was going to finish everything that he started. So that's why I retired from the military. I did 24 years versus his 4. And I'm going to be graduating, with the degree from culinary school that she didn't get a chance to complete before she passed away. So, I've just unfinished business. So that's when I kind of decided, I was going to go ahead and, give it a shot and, work for myself.
So now that you're in culinary school, now you're in school, you enrolled, what did you say, in Virginia, right?
I started in Virginia, yes.
So did you develop more of a passion for cooking? Are you finishing now just to say you completed, or you have a passion for it?
I still have a passion for it. Just combining today's day and age, social media, a lot of techniques. You can be an overnight star, like I said, literally overnight. So those particular things, they kind of home in and using your skills. A lot of people have time to sit at home, especially like during COVID, for example. People watch a lot of, things on television, videos, things of that nature. So you can build an audience and reach people that you thought you never could. And, especially using social media now, I'm trying to get more versed in it because I was never really a big fan. But
yeah, that's the one reason I'm on. Yeah, social media has its pros and cons. I use it really just for either to promote my business or my brand, but just to get on and say, I'm outside. No, but like I started my YouTube channel and, my husband's been telling me like, you need to start. And I'm like, ah. But what I realized is there's a lot of people who just because they like to cook, they make videos and they have a lot of subscribers. And I just feel like, well, why can't I get on this? Why can't I get on this? So how much longer do you have to finish school?
I'll be finished school, I would say, probably September of this year.
But you have enough skills. So I see that you've started a business, Five Shades of Brown. Yes. Tell us a little bit about that.
Just trying to come together with a concept, especially going through classes and the mentorship with Chef Brooks. And she was explaining that you need a niche. You need something that links you and connects you. So I'm just kind of like looking around and, what do I have commonality of everybody else, shade of my skin. I've traveled, being in the military, and I've seen a lot of brown people throughout the world. And I just wanted to be able to bridge the gap of Southern cuisine, uh, South American cuisine, African cuisine, everything that you think about that's brown. I want to basically put everything on one plate. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of friends growing up, and cooking has inspired me to recognize things that I didn't have, things I didn't notice around me. I mean, quick story, I was in high school, and a couple of friends of mine had a job at a local grocery store. So it was a grocery store, and then it had a kind of deli section where they sell meat. It was a Caribbean store. And me working there, I had no idea of anything that I was handling, nothing that I was working with. So they were essentially teaching me about their culture. So in those 5 or 6 years that I worked there, I picked up a skill that I had no idea. I mean, I was a butcher.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of where it started. And then I looked at it like I've been around a lot of African people, a lot of African friends, a lot of Caribbean people, a lot of Caribbean friends. I come home and deep rooted, both of my parents' backgrounds, family from South Carolina, North Carolina. So, it's a lot of soul food stuff there. My wife, she's from New Orleans. So you have a lot of different cuisines over there. So, I mean, I'm all these things around me. I'm like, why not use it?
Okay, so you started Five Shades of Brown.
Yes.
And tell us, what do you do there?
So what we do is Five Shades of Brown. We do catering parties, intimate dinner parties. We do cooking, sipping classes. We invite people to, touch the food and actually make it at home. But we show them exactly what we are trying to get to as far as bringing the dinner environment to your own home, while we do this. That's what we do at Five Shades of Brown.
And do you have a team? Who you go by yourself? How does that work?
So right now it's me and my wife. So, pretty much. And then, once our kids get a little older, of course, they'll help with the serving and things of that nature. And then we relocating to the Houston area, and I have a lot of family members there. So I'll definitely, enlist their services to help me out while I start to build clientele.
Moving again?
Yes.
You have that skill set, right? So you can take that anywhere. Okay,
Right.
okay. How has it been going, and how long have you been in business?
Well, we started the end of 2023. There's a couple of platters that, people will ask me dishes that they would make for special events that they may have. And, it's kind of like a delivery service where I'll make it and then I'll drop it off to them. But the particular area is kind of hard to, get out. That's why I started going the social media route to kind of explore and brand out that way to build my clientele base. So once I do get to Houston, I can bring my food truck and be more mobile. So I can do private dinner parties as well as a food truck on a daily basis.
So you're still on a base?
I'm still on the base right now.
Do you cook for people on a base?
I do not. There's been a lot of requests for me to start my food truck business here, but it just didn't economically make a whole lot of sense because once I did depart from this area, I would have to ship a whole truck as well as the rest of my household goods, to the Texas area. So I just decided to kind of keep things quaint, private, finish school, and then started when I got there.
And that Houston area is a huge food scene also.
Yes.
There's a lot of good places out there to eat. Actually, one place that I thought I would go to, but they eventually shut down, Turkey Leg Hut. Have you ever heard of them?
I've heard of them, yes. I've heard of them.
So does your wife cook?
She actually is a cook for the Navy. She's a culinary specialist.
What?
She's been doing it over 20 years as well. So everything I don't know, she teaches me anyway.
What would you say is your favorite thing to make as of now?
As of now, I don't really have a favorite. I love everything. I like things that I haven't done before. So I do, kind of video segments of taking the tours. So, I may take a tour of South America. I may take a tour of Italy. I may take a tour of Africa. Things of that nature where I'm kind of regionally going this place, looking at different dishes and trying to really get it right there on the spot.
That's interesting because I actually did an episode with Robin, and being that she's been to so many countries, I wanted her take on the different cuisines out there. But I never even thought, like, you've been all over, so I'm sure you've tasted so many different things as well. What's on your menu for these private catering services? What's on your menu?
So it can basically range. So we're talking about appetizers. We're talking about, if you want to go a seafood cuisine, we'll do kind of like a jumbo crab. We'll do jumbo shrimp, ribeye sliders, things of that nature. So, it's kind of touching all bases, or, it's kind of like the surf and turf aspect of it. Main courses, we may do a handmade pasta on the spot. Definitely, lamb chops, things of that nature. Desserts, not really my forte.
I was just getting ready to ask because I saw some of the stuff that I looked at your website, so I saw creme brulee. Everybody doesn't offer creme brulee. So is that your wife coming through with her culinary skills?
100%. 100%.
Okay. I did see it was creme brulee. Tell me what else, because I was like, oh, okay.
It's definitely, like pound cake, fresh fruit, chocolate mousse, some type of cobbler. Definitely small bites of things to kind of give you that, I had a great meal. It was a great dessert kind of top.
When I went to school, again, I went just for pastry arts, but I know that people had to take the people who were going for the culinary, they had to take like the basic baking course. Have you taken your baking courses yet?
I have. It was rough.
It was really.
I already knew I had the mindset that it was going to be rough, and I know it is a science. And I've seen firsthand, you can go through all the steps and do something wrong, and you have to start all over.
Okay. I will say the one thing I do know for sure is baking, you have to practice. So when I would teach people, I would have clients and teach them how to bake. Once the pandemic hit, and I started teaching baking classes online, then I also started teaching these individuals how to set up a business, start their business, and how to hone in marketing, social media, all of that stuff. So just like you said, the chef you spoke of that got you started. But one thing I will say is practice. Some people when they would sign up, oh, I want to learn how to cake. I want to do cake decorating. And that's just a separate skill set. I always say that. But practice, because even in school, there were some things you can have the recipe and I would always mess up until I just kept practicing. And it takes time to perfect the recipe. So it's different than, let me put a little more salt or pepper or whatever you're seasoning. Yeah. Baking, you have to really, you end up wasting stuff. It took me a while to get my my cinnamon rolls down pat after trying different recipes. Robin is a fan of my banana pudding. So I think, did you offer banana pudding? I feel like I saw something I said, yeah, that made me think of a custard. So, and that's basic, just learning how to make a pastry cream. So those are some basic, skills that I would think that you would know how to do. You know how to make a custard?
I haven't perfected it yet, so I'm not going to lie. But every time we go ahead. Yeah, it's definitely, I respect it. I must say that. I respect it.
Okay. Because certain things fall in terms of fall under a custard, and creme brulee is one of those things that falls under custard. So what have been some of your challenges just starting your business? What are some of the challenges?
Just reaching the target audience, because I've had a lot of people. I first started, I got these business cards printed out, cute little business cards, and the information on there. I would try different things where I would go to a Barnes and Noble and get cookbooks and just kind of tuck one away as a, you know what I mean? Spread them out. Go to different gyms in the area. Ask them if I could leave a couple of my business cards. Hair salons, so kind of really, put my foot on the pavement or actually walk around talking and then giving out a lot of free stuff. Um, just giving people's honest aspect. Just their be honest. They, what are you making this week? I'm like, okay, so this week I'm gonna make oxtail chopped cheese, and they're like, ooh, that sounds interesting. And I was like, yes, can I, make you, a small platter for you and one of your friends so you can share it. And then all I ask is you give me an honest video, and you would do that. So I've been doing that. And, I've gotten a lot of decent headway in that portions of it. Lately, I've just been kind of making something that I would normally make at home. I would look in the fridge and see what I have, and I would just kind of stream and go from there. And people would actually sit with me. They would ask questions or give me ideas of what I should do next, things of that nature. And that's what I'm here for.
So another question. So where do you see 5 Shades of Brown going? Where do you see 5 Shades of Brown going in the next 3 years, let's say?
Okay, so 3 years time, I have my food truck up and running. I will be doing a lot of pop-up shops, private events, hopefully for anywhere between, you got a plethora of people in the Houston area. So I'm going to be targeting people that are in the NFL. I'm targeting anybody that's in any kind of sports industry, any kind of people that are trying to, do a weight loss journey or weight gain journey.
You have your food truck. That's the plan to be in Houston. So you do, that's something also. Do you do, I don't know, is it still big, like the meal prep? Do you offer that? Maybe that's a service that you can offer.
Definitely offer meal prep. A lot in Virginia, right? Right after COVID hit, a lot of people didn't want to make meals or didn't have time. Some people were actually working from home, but some people actually had to go off. So I was definitely getting a lot of orders and things of that nature, and kind of word of mouth. Definitely the only thing that's fast. And it would travel around like that. It was very, very lucrative.
You'll be relocating to Houston. Will you be done with school by then?
Yes, I'll be done with school. So I graduate in September time frame, and then I will be moving around December.
Oh, okay. So you got time. You got time. Yeah, and then so also, what about the upcoming season? You got the Super Bowl coming up. Are you doing anything for that? So I will say just a little advice that you'll learn what your holidays are, right? So bacon is a little different. Like Valentine's Day, that you got to start tapping into Valentine's Day. Like you should be having something that you can come make their Valentine's meal, or I could prepare it. One of my clients, she had a catering business that she wanted a catering business. She had gone to culinary school. So, and actually Robin was on the call with me when we was trying to get her menu together. She was just all over the place with it. And it was around the holiday, and she decided, I want to sell dinners for Thanksgiving. And we put that menu together, and people bought from her. Bought from her. So it's a matter of, I'm huge on the whole professionalism of how everything looks.
Yes.
But we got her menu together, and she was able to make money in that short period of time. I think it was like in 2 months. So I say that to say, as holidays come up. So now if you can't make the you got a few days be in February, but then you got Mother's Day. You got Mother's Day coming up. So you start thinking things like that. Because sometimes you will definitely have your lull periods, right? Where it's slow. But when those events are coming up, like for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, what's the next big thing? And then you have the holidays, that in itself. But also just like weekends, maybe you can start offering people weekend, I can come for the weekend, or romance. I don't know, something like that. But sometimes what I've learned is that you need some kind of strategy to go along with it.
Yeah, I actually got a cousin of mine. He's out of Atlanta. He's a chef as well. And the things that he's done, I actually hit him up on the phone time to time. He gives a little insight on a path. He does a lot of big clients as far as in the music industry. Goes up to shows and does private events there, weddings, anniversaries. So, I mean, I've seen it, and I know that that's the direction I'm headed for. It's just after taking that leap and getting there, to get my name out there, and stuff like that. So, and then I don't mind travel. That's we can travel. Yes, good. Definitely travel to a state, city, college area, country, town. It doesn't matter. I would definitely travel, pack up my knives, get on the plane, do my thing. And so I would definitely do that. So yeah, it is endless. I mean, video wise, you know, teaching that way, coming out, girls' weekend.
Yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh. Because I know people who they rent the girls, they go out and have these trips and just word of mouth. They rent Airbnbs, if everybody put their money together and fly out a chef, and that's the thing. Oh, we have a chef come in, and where'd my girlfriend go? They stayed for like the whole maybe a weekend, but the chef stayed there the whole time, prepared food for them. So that is definitely I could definitely seeing that being huge for you. And your wife is, she's got all that experience as well. So that's also how I would think that I would say, how can I explain it? Marketing is key. I'll just say that marketing is key.
You've had actually been a wealth of knowledge. Definitely, you sound like my mentor. You know what I mean? And I'll definitely. That's what it's all about, networking.
Yeah, and that's one of my questions too. In terms of connecting, what I would say is while you're in school, I think that's the best time, especially if your courses are they're sure enough culinary courses. I would ask every question all the time. Like I was asking questions in school because it doesn't get any easier than asking somebody who's been doing this. And certain chefs I find have different approaches to how they teach. Some are better than others, but if you can get your questions answered and networking. When I went to school, nobody was telling me about networking, but find those people. I just ran into a chef. Who was it? Chef Boots. I believe he was on Food Network at some point, and he won something on Food Network, but he has a restaurant, not a restaurant, but like a biscuit place. It's called Harlem Biscuit Company here in New York. And I stopped in there this weekend. That was my plan. I wanted to go to taste it. My thing is I want to definitely highlight us for Black History Month. Yes. So I went there and his manager was there. He was like, oh no, he's the executive chef at this other restaurant, which was like down the block. Went down the block. And this was at the Victoria, which is in the Renaissance. And ate there. And I was like, oh, is the chef here? And they was like, well, like, who are you? I was like, oh, just tell them ChefSahera, right? I was like, tell them the other guy sent me. When I tell you that chef came out, he gave me a tour around the kitchen, both his kitchens, introduced me to his staff, talked to me, showed me he said they had like an event for like the Black chefs for Harlem Week. Wow. I said, well, I want to come. Right. So it's just a matter of networking. Right. So he gave me his personal number. So I plan on interviewing him. I plan on interviewing his manager. So I took a cookie class with this chef, Black chef. So this was Toba Garrett. And I feel like, I was honored to be sitting in her class, even though she is a chef there. But I know I've seen her on TV. I've gotten her cookbook. So I like to say is practice. Ask those questions and network. Definitely network, because you never know who knows who.
So the next time you go to Harlem Week, the chef's thing, it sounds like you got a +1.
That's right. You bet. What? You look, my cousin is coming.
That's all you gotta say.
You better know it. I sure did ask him. Yep. I was like, I want to come, and he was just so easy and laid back. So
yeah, I did a little. I guess it was kind of like a local, international thing where you were jumping in. It was actually by Carla Hall, and it was like the fake. I tried to get the votes and stuff like that. I got close, but I didn't win. But it was just the experience of trying to get my name out there. Anytime to try to get a little bit of exposure, I was going out and doing anything possible. So yeah, it was an experience. But I'm not, you know, I am not shy or game to try anything at least one time to see how I measure up or to just get the experience of anything. So, that's most definitely, my pride and joy.
So just people I've been seeing, if I could find a Black-owned business, I'm going to reach out. Either you can say yay or nay to try to speak to them. But just staying connected, because especially now we need to stick together. Would you say you have I know you said you wanted to kind of highlight the Southern cuisine. Is that the thing you would say you stick to? So I'm just trying to figure out how, just a little bit of everything.
So just like we're talking about networking. So actually me being in California, being at the school that I've had, it's heavily, predominantly a Mexican area. And I have the guys and girls that I'm in class with, they're giving me insight on how they make their food. So it's like nothing I can put in my toolbox. So everywhere I go, I'm doing something. Like I said, growing up, I was around a lot of Caribbean people. I've had that palate and that line of teaching, with different soups. And we're talking about curries and jerks and things of that nature, all these cuisines. So the Southernness is just kind of like an intro. But we can go Southern, we can go Caribbean, we can go South American, we can go as much as you allow me to go, and as much as your belly can kind of, intake. But we'll definitely do every shade of brown that we can possibly do that, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. I think that's a good way to end it. I like that. Go ahead, Chef Mo. But wait, it was one more thing I was gonna say. Oh, in California has very strict food laws.
Yes.
Like they're a little different than, the other states. I'm a food safety fanatic.
Yes.
You have your food handler's license?
I do.
You do? Okay. And one of my clients, I was giving her a business class, and what came with that class when she signed up with me was that she would get her food handler's license. So come to find out, in California, y'all are required if you're going to handle food. In New York, you only need one person on duty. You only need one person. But in California, what I found is that everybody who will be handling food needs to be certified. And the employer has to pay for it.
Yeah, it was actually pretty ironic because I had to do it in Virginia in school. While I was in school, I decided to get some kind of work experience. So they were opening up a casino. So I got hired to work in one of the restaurants in the casino. I didn't stay long. I only stayed about 6 months. But I had to get my food handler's license there. And then when I came back to another one, I already got 3 of them already.
Did you do, well, you're still in school, so you haven't done any externship.
I am actually doing an externship, and that you mentioned it, and I am going to be working for my wife.
You're going to be working?
For my wife.
Oh, okay, nice.
She runs the galley, the mobile service, and I think it's another eatery that they have on different sides of the house, but I'm actually going to be working with her, for her, and learning everything that I can possibly learn in my
Oh, that's so cool. Nice. When will you be doing that?
I'm going to start next week.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Well, I wish you the best. Thank you for taking this time with and letting the people know what they need to know about just culinary school, and just tell people how can they connect with you.
You can connect with me on social media, 5 Shades of Brown _. You can connect with me, 5shadesbcs.com. Any kind of social, I have all my links. Look for a link tree to follow. Spices coming at you, merch, anything of that nature. I'm definitely going to be shooting it out to the public.
Okay. And I'll definitely leave those links in the description of this podcast. So I want to thank you, Chef Mo, and we look forward to hearing more things about 5 Shades of Brown.
Thank you.
You need to know what to do with that dough. Let the chef show you. You need to know what to do with that dough. Let the chef show you. You need to know what to do with that dough. Let the chef show you.